When I was a kid, um, I heard a story about a time before recorded history. And the story was about a particular animal, the bee. Now, everyone knows what a bee is, and they know that bees sting people. But did you know that according to legend, there was a time when bees did not have their stinger? See, according to legend, the bee was a large animal that actually was clandestine. It actually had no wings, so it had to walk around on the ground and do its job of collecting pollen from flowers to turn into honey. And it makes sense because you don't really ever see any super tall flowers. Flowers are usually short, they're very close to the ground, which makes sense that an animal that collects pollen would start off walking around on its legs. But you see, the bee had a huge problem. The bee would collect honey all day long, and it would store the honey in its little cave or den, and other animals would come and they would steal the bee's honey. So, back in those days, people and animals could openly communicate with the great spirits or the creator who created us all. So the bee goes to the creator and he says, I am so tired of other animals being able to just come into my cave, other animals being able to just come into my area and steal my honey whenever they want to. The creator said to the bee, well, you're really good at collecting honey. You're so good at collecting honey that you usually have tons of honey to spare after you collected enough honey to feed yourself and the other bees throughout the year. So you should have no problem with sharing that honey with the other animals in the forest. But that just didn't sit right with the bee. He said, I understand sharing. I understand that I'm really good at collecting pollen, which I turn to honey, but it's just not right that other animals get to come into my space, take my honey, and I have no way to stop them. So the bee requested of the creator, he said, I wish you would give me a weapon or something so that I could stab and attack anyone who would come to try to steal my honey. I really need some type of addition to my anatomy. He said, you gave the scorpion a stinger so it can stab people who attack it. He said, you gave the deer antlers so the deer could ram the antlers into anyone who wishes to do harm to it. He said, and all these other animals, you gave them sharp fangs and sharp teeth, but you left me helpless. And I have something of great value. And I need to be able to protect my honey. Okay? And so the Great Spirit says, well, he says, if I give you something to fight and defend your honey, it's going to have to be something that's very effective. And it's going to be have to be something that you can move rather quickly. Now, you being a bee, see, back in those days, bees were pretty big like a cat or something, but they still had those little skinny legs that weren't very good for anything other than crawling. So the Great Spirit says, how would you be able to move to use this weapon if I gave it to you? You're small. You're not very agile. You're basically made for storing honey. So the bee says, well, what if you gave me some wings? What if you gave me some wings so that when the animals come to steal my honey, I could fly and then I could use my wings to come down and stab them with the weapon that you're going to give me. And so the Great Spirit says, you know what? You're not huge, but you're still a little bit too big for wings. So if I'm going to give you these wings and this weapon, and if you really want to be able to fly and stab stuff, stab other animals, I'm going to have to make you a bit smaller. So the bee says, you know what? If I got to lose some size so that I can fly around and stab other creatures to protect my honey, I'll do it. So the Great Spirit goes, whoop, whoop, bam, boom, bam, bing, bang, boom, bam. And the bee looks down at himself and he says, I like this. He shakes his ass. He got a nice stinger back there, nice and sharp. You know, when you get stung by a bee, hurts like hell. So the bee shakes his ass. Ooh, look at this right here. This is what I'm talking about. He looks at his wings. He flaps them around. He says, oh, yes. Oh, yes. They're not ready for the pain that I'm about to bring if they try to take my honey. But then the bee looks up and he notices something. Damn, everything got a whole lot bigger. The Great Spirit, or the Great Creator said, well, I had to make you smaller so that you could have more agility and so that you would be able to fly, so you could attack people or animals that try to steal your honey. So the bee says, you know what? I don't like being small, but there's a whole bunch of us. We got a whole hive. It's thousands of us. So what the individual bee can't do, I'm sure we can do it, make up for it with just numbers. We good. We gang up on them. We jump them. Cool. So the Great Spirit says, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. But I hope you enjoy everything I've given you. So the bee's like, with great power comes great responsibility, whatever. Yeah. So he goes back to his hive. He goes to other bees. He says, look, the Creator gave me this. And the bees say, I want it too. And so he says, go over to the Great Creator and he's going to hook you up with what he hooked me up with, the stinger, the wings, and all the good stuff. Now we can defend our honey, right? They're like, yeah. So they go over there. They get their stingers put on and their wings put on, right? And so one day they start living on the wish system. Now it went from, damn, I hope nobody comes to take my honey. And they start saying, damn, I wish a mother lover would take this honey, because if he do, I got something for him, right? So one day a bear comes along. And the bear, you know, he's used to just going in and getting honey whenever he wants to. He walks into the cave. He approaches the cave. And he's getting ready to go in and get the honey. And all the bees swarm this bear and they start hitting him with the stingers. Boom, boom, boom. And the bear is like, what in the hell is going on? Ow, that hurt. Ow, 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 ow. It's not so much that it hurts the bear, but he's super shocked because he's not used to the bees being able to inflict any pain on him. So he gets freaked out and he says, this must be a new type of bee or something. I mean, they're smaller, but they can inflict pain, and it's a lot of them. So I'm going. So the bear runs off. The bees cheer. Yes, we were able to defend our honey from the attacker. But all of a sudden, the bees start feeling weird. They feel a pain in their stomach. Ooh, oh. What's going on? So the bees just start dropping dead. They start dropping dead. They start dropping like flies. No pun intended. And the first bee, the one who first went to the Creator, he went back to the Creator with his last ounce of strength. He says, Creator, what's going on? Everyone's dropping dead, and I'm feeling like I'm not going to make it. And the Creator says to the bee, he says, I told you that with great power comes great responsibility. You wanted a weapon to where you could inflict harm on other animals to protect your honey. But I felt it was only right that if I gave you such a strategic advantage over other animals in the forest with your numbers, wings, stingers, and you got the numbers, I only felt it right that I make your ability to do harm coincide with your ability to keep on living. So now, from this day forward, whenever you sting someone, not only will they die, but you will also die. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that's the story of how the bee got his stinger. Now, you might be wondering, if you're still with me, Brandon, what in the hell does a bee getting a stinger have to do with Latinos? What the hell does a bee getting a stinger have to do with Raza? Well, we have a situation here in Los Angeles where we have a community of people that are very strong, very hardworking group of people, super efficient and great at doing business. These people are known as some of the hardest, if not the hardest, working people in America. And because they're in such close proximity to their country of origin, hell, this country, this state I'm sitting in used to be a part of their country. They have a unique ability to build their numbers very rapidly and basically take significant control within a system of government that is based on majority rules. The Hispanics are much like the bee. But see, the Hispanic people, the Latinos, for a very long time, they were like the bee in the beginning, where they worked really hard. Everybody celebrated them. Everybody loved what they were doing. Everybody was buying what they were selling, or they were eating what they were cooking, so to speak. And they were generally accepted by American society, and nobody really had anything bad to say about them, much like that bee. But see, at some point, the Latino community became radicalized. And I don't know if they were radicalized based on the situation surrounding illegal immigration, or whether they were radicalized based on the situation surrounding radical Marxism, something that has invaded the Democrat Party and is turning people into what I would consider to be domestic terrorists. Now, Latinos are not the only group that are falling victim to this brainwashing. Black people, my group, we have an overwhelming number of individuals within my group who could be, in my opinion, described as domestic terrorists. BLM, these Black Lives Matter, not knuckleheads. You have black folks becoming part of Antifa, the radical feminist. All these people I look at as domestic terrorists because they place their feelings about a certain issue over the prosperity, unity, and most importantly, safety of people within this country. And I just can't get jiggy with that. But see, now we have a situation where the Latino that everybody loves, a day without a Mexican. Who doesn't love a burrito? Who doesn't love a taco? Who doesn't love chilaquiles? We learned to pronounce that word because we love you so much and we love your food. That's a hard word to pronounce. Chilaquiles. That's not natural for the African tongue. It doesn't just roll off. But I learned because I love that so much, right? Actually, when you're in LA, go try Don Chilequiles. Fire Chilequiles. Okay. But we really loved you guys. And we still do. And we really embraced you guys. Ask a white person what's their favorite food. They don't say white food. That's for damn sure. They're like, I love Mexican food. Y'all know y'all got us in the headlock with the Mexican food. But now, like the bee, the Latinos want to hurt people. Now, like the bee, being loved by everyone is no longer good enough. Having everybody in the headlock with chili relleno and oro con pollo and you name it, we love it. It was no longer good enough. The food that I believe united the people who produced the food that, in my opinion, had the power to unite America, for whatever reason, decided that being a unifier, being a group that was like the glue that held everybody together in this country was no longer good enough. They decided that they needed a stinger. They needed to not only be able to protest when they were no longer happy with the way they were being treated in America, they needed the ability to reach out and touch somebody, for a lack of a better term. They needed the ability, like that bee, to sting somebody and hurt them, to let that person know that they were not cool with whatever they were doing. But what's sad is, just like that bee, their ability, them being granted the power to inflict pain, it also came with a price. And I don't know if my Latino brothers and sisters are going to be happy with the price that they will inevitably pay because of this. And when I say that there's going to be a price to pay, I'm not implying that there's any violence that's going to happen to you. What I'm saying is that, economically speaking, these riots are hurting Latino people more than anyone. And I'm about to put the link in the comments. Just chill. These riots, these uprisings, I'm gonna hold off on calling it an insurrection. These riots are hurting Latino people, both legal and illegal, more than any other group in America. I want you to answer a question for me. When you guys burn down a business in downtown Los Angeles, or you raid the Adidas store, or you raid the Apple store, or you go and raid businesses in the Alley District where many illegal immigrants have worked for decades, who does that hurt? I'll let you guys answer that. Who does that hurt? Because yesterday, when I sat on the couch with Adam and Lush, and I tried to get this point across to them, I was met with pure ignorance and entitlement. One white man from an affluent Jewish family and another white man who has worked hard to build a multi-million-dollar enterprise. When I explained to them that tearing down local businesses in Los Angeles hurt Latinos more than anybody, do you know they told me, who cares? That's what they said to me. They said, who cares, Brandon? No one cares about that. No one cares about who gets hurt when Latinos destroy the businesses that Latinos are employed by. When Latinos destroy the businesses that Latinos own. When Latinos act a fool downtown LA and the police have to implement a curfew, they said if it was after 6 p.m., you couldn't even be downtown LA. Do you know how many Latinos don't even begin to make their money till after 7 o'clock when everyone's getting off work, coming to their burrito stands to buy them good old burritos? Do you know how many of those people right now are probably crying, wishing they could go down there and sell burritos until 3, 4 in the morning and make their daily 2 or 3 or 4 or $500 that they use to feed their family? So I took offense when 2 white guys told me that they really didn't give a damn about the fact that this ridiculous rioting was having a negative impact on the very people that the riot was supposed to be supporting. See, ICE was doing ICE raids in downtown LA, but that's not what really started this whole thing. That's the lie that the devil's going to tell. But the reality is something totally different. Do you know that as I was leaving No Jumper yesterday, I was able to buy a burrito on Vermont and Imperial from illegal immigrants who had a taco stand set up, who were unimpacted, unaffected by ICE or anybody else. ICE is targeting criminals specifically. That's what they're doing. There's no way they're about to get 20 million illegal immigrants out of this country in 4 years. It's not happening. But instead of allowing ICE to do their job and doing your job, what these Latino people did, and I don't even believe they did it under their own volition, right? I believe they were radicalized into attacking law enforcement. I believe they were radicalized into confronting ICE. I believe they were radicalized into creating a violent, volatile situation that is, at the end of when it's all said and done, going to have an incredibly negative impact on the ability of immigrants, illegal immigrants, to live, love, and work in Los Angeles or any other sanctuary city. Glock the talk, 100% right. George Soros has made a fool out of you all. And when people like me try to tell you, hey guys, you're celebrating right now, but the reality is, you be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You know what they told me? They said, who cares? Adam said that. Who cares? He tried to look up information in real time. Oh, you were actually wrong. Hey, I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. But my question is, do you really care enough to actually do the research so you can speak from a position of being informed versus talking out the side of your ass? Because the only thing Adam quoted, I read the New York Times. If the guy was actually well-versed in politics, if the guy actually cared enough about it to do real research, he would understand the New York Times is a very biased publication. That is why when I read up on politics, I don't look at Fox News. I don't look at the New York Times. I don't look at MSNBC. I will look at them just to kind of confirm what I already know they're going to do. What I do is I look at sites that are unbiased, like Ground News, 1440, these different publications, because I know that they're going to give an unbiased perspective. unbiased report from an unbiased perspective. And so I can trust it. But I'm not going to look at the people who basically lied to me for 4 years and told me that Joe Biden was sharper than ever and expect them to give me truth about what's going on with the illegal immigrant situation. Guys, if we haven't learned anything, we've learned that we cannot trust the legacy media. Every day, it seems like we are finding out about how they lied to us about a news story. They are literally guilty of lying to the American people, of covering up things that were going on in our government, which hurt our government. These people, in my opinion, literally could be responsible for some of the most dangerous times we've ever lived in as Americans, all because they refused to tell the truth. And I don't know why they did that. See, I want to find this because there's a clip where we're arguing. But I want to really find this part where they're like, who cares about this? Who cares about that? Because when you look at it, they really don't care. It's so funny because I wonder if these Hispanic people actually think all these vloggers and YouTubers going down to downtown LA actually care about what's going on with their people. These dudes are going down there because they're getting 100,000 views on their channel for going down there. They're not going down there because they support you. If they deported every last one of you guys, these dudes will not show up at a court date to defend you. I promise. I promise you. But I'm just trying to get this clip. Hold on real quick. Hold on. I found it. I found it right here. So we got it. I want you guys to listen how these dudes speak about this situation. And you guys let me know if you really believe that these people are really locked in with you guys and ready to risk it all to help you guys do whatever it is you're trying to accomplish by rioting. Because to me, it just looks like you're just making it harder for you to live in downtown LA. I feel like this makes it more dangerous for illegal immigrants because now people are starting to look at you guys like you're actually criminal, like you're actually terrorists. When you busting police officers in the head and those police officers happen to be Latino, people are no longer looking at you as someone who's charged up over racism. They're looking at you now as a non-state operative, a person who has been employed by some shadowy figure to execute politically funded violence against political opposition. That's what's going on. So let me play this. Let me play this so you guys could look at this with me. It's immediate impeachment and removal as president.
What small children?
But let me tell you, the lead investigator,
The waste of eloquence you are.
Wow.
Than any president. This guy,
You got like dozens and dozens.
Les, let me ask you a question.
The burden of proof is on you on that one.
Donald Trump.
Dickhead.
Action was stolen. Wow, that was so transparent.
But he said he cooperated. That don't mean he innocent.
Hold on. Had the opportunity to bring them back months ahead of the time that NASA scheduled it.
Mm-hmm.
But
You'll never admit if Trump's wrong.
Trump and Elon Musk. I'm going to go with Elon, the precursor to Elon accusing Donald Trump.
But when out of all the chicks,
Uncle's amazing.
out of all
Let's
the
go.
but when guys, I thought I had this, but I don't. Damn. I tried to mark it by when Adam pulls out his phone to spew and I was gonna ask you about like non-factual Read the donation. So
room.
damn.
No
But
problem,
if you're
Casa
well-
Not,
if
gang.
you're
No,
wealthy-
I'm saying, but what?
Thank
Is
you.
because Wale apparently doesn't really understand.
I don't know where
You can
this
see,
damn.
Ed didn't know.
Hold on. You know what? I could find it in No Jumper clips. Let me go there. And I'm about to put the link in the chat so you guys can come up and okay. I know there's one where they said Brandon calls everyone stupid. Okay. So as I play this, where the hell is this? As I play this, I will put the link in the comments. So if you want to come up and rebuttal anything I'm saying, you will have the ability to do so. Here it goes. Perfect.
Lied and you're not admitting that you lied.
For real, because
Nobody never.
Here we go.
Every Mexican in that.
All right. So Lush tells me every Mexican in LA has a problem with you, which I really don't give a damn, honestly. And they think he tries to like stoke this like little race thing, right? He forgets that he's actually a white guy. What's new? A white guy trying to turn Mexican people and black people against each other. Well, that's nothing new to me. So I expect it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say, hey, dude's not racist. Bro's cool. You know, he just has opinions on stuff. Why would he do a thing like that? No, Lush is not Mexican. Lush is white. He's white. Don't ever forget that. Cancel Christmas. People are up here. People coming in. Cool. So let me play this.
LA is on Brandon's hand. Every Mexican in LA is on Brandon's
Yeah.
hand.
So
And
let me
he's trying to
finish.
explain why.
So let me finish my point.
Shouts to the Don Moose for coming out and supporting
Here we
the
go.
protest. You feel me? I see
Here we go.
RJ, I seen Jomo there. You feel
Anybody
me?
supporting that protest is an idiot. And I'm going to tell you why.
gang
Because
members need to come out for the. That's what I said about
seen
that.
the
Yes,
Don
not
Moose
that.
out, I ain't
No,
gonna
go
lie.
ahead, finish. Go ahead.
these
Let me-
gang
go ahead.
members need to go home and take care of their children and clean up their neighborhood.
That's
fact.
I can't do both.
because the whole purpose of the protest is based on a lie. The ICE was doing, it wasn't even ICE, it was federal agents on a drug bust. A bunch of ignorant people thought it was ICE raids. They went down there and started causing trouble. Ultimately, they're not doing any damage.
They
to-
were doing
That's
ice raids.
100% not
Listen.
true.
Yeah, they
But-
were doing
All right,
ice raids
so
over the weekend.
you're wrong.
But,
You're
but,
wrong.
But how you
No,
explain
they
this?
were in
Running into
downtown and in
graduation, though?
Paramount.
Why is that?
This is the first part. Adam tries to play a game, right? Were these protests caused by ICE raids? No, they were not. He goes from, I say, these riots were not caused by ICE raids. These riots were caused by people mistaking federal operations around crime for ICE raids. But he says, no, ICE raids were going on. That's not what I was arguing. ICE raids have been going on since the beginning of the year. These particular protests jumped off because a bunch of idiots thought that a federal bust was an ICE raid, and they seized upon the federal agents to try to interfere with it. And I'm going to actually, you know what? I just need to prove that to you immediately so that before we go on. Right here. This is straight from the BBC, guys. This is a British newspaper, news station. So it's not left or right slanted. Actually, if you had to ask, people would say it leans more left towards the Democrats. Here's the BBC, not the lying-ass New York Times, which we know that the New York Times lied and covered up so many things from the American people. Here's the title: How LA Erupted Over Rumors of immigration raid at a hardware store. How LA erupted over rumors of an immigration raid at a hardware store. Now, if you just scroll down, because I actually read this yesterday, but I can't bring this up at No Jumper. So Adam gets to use his phone, say whatever he wants, type things up the way he wants it to. he types it in the way he wants to, and then when he says, "Oh, you're wrong," everyone is supposed to believe that. The white man been playing that trick on us for decades. Now we're smarter, right? We know everything that comes across pink lips ain't inherently true. That don't mean it's automatically a fact. So we have our paper, we have the internet in our phones, so we can do our own research to verify, which I already verified things before I say them. That's why everyone could call me dumb and a liar at No Jumper, but they can never prove that in a debate. That's why they don't want to debate me. Now look it. Protests erupted in this Hispanic majority city, turning violent as rocks and Molotov cocktails were thrown. Authorities used pepper spray, rubber bullets, and smoke bombs to subdue the crowd. But the demonstrations in Paramount appear to have spawned out of misinformation. So there were raids in 2 cities. One of the cities was Los Angeles, downtown LA, and there was another city called Paramount, which is a predominantly Hispanic city in LA, right? Everybody mute up till I'm done. Which is a predominantly Hispanic city in Los Angeles, right? These people mistook criminal federal raids for criminal activity as ICE raids and started throwing Molotov cocktails at the police. Like, think about that. Think about that. You thought they were coming in to deport illegals, so you started throwing, because a Molotov cocktail is a bomb. They use those in war. They used to use those a lot. You are throwing Molotov cocktails at the police because you thought they were doing an immigration raid. And let me tell you this too. Yes, LA is predominantly Hispanic too. The situation that happened downtown LA, which is so funny. There was a business in downtown LA. There were several businesses that have been on the government's radar because everyone knows down there, the Asians who run those businesses in the alley, there's a district called the alley where you can go buy clothes and stuff at wholesale prices. So there's a lot of cash being exchanged there. Well, the FBI was tipped off that there were many businesses down there that were not paying taxes. So the federal agents went down there to execute a bust on some of those businesses. Now, if we execute a bust on a business and they have illegal immigrants in their employment, well, when we arrest them, we are going to alert ICE so those people can be deported. Well, yeah, so when they do the criminal bust, you're going to see the federal vehicles, and then you're going to see ICE vehicles when they determine that these workers, some of them, or maybe all of them, are not citizens of the United States of America. So was this a ICE raid, or was this a federal bust, which then became, which involved ICE due to the fact that the company that was raided was employing people who were not citizens of this country? Because if ICE was doing a raid downtown LA, wouldn't they just have to sweep everyone? There's millions of Hispanics in downtown LA. There's no way you're doing a raid in downtown LA unless you have been tipped off and have been told specifically there's a business, this is what it's called, and this is what's going on. That's why if you look at what was going on initially, there were illegal immigrants selling tacos and shit all over the street as the ICE vehicles were attempting to leave the area. They didn't come there just to do a raid on all Mexicans. They went there because it was a raid for tax evasion and money laundering. And then people who were not legal citizens got caught up in that situation. But instead of using their brains, instead of saying, you know what, this doesn't add up, these Hispanic people downtown were radicalized by the Democrat politicians. They've already been brainwashed So anytime they see an ICE vehicle, they think, "Oh shit, it's an ICE raid," and now they begin to operate as paramilitary groups. Do you guys know what a paramilitary group is? Go to Mexico. There's a bunch of them. They're called drug cartels. They are not acting like little army units within sanctuary cities who are on standby to attack government officials, government agencies, government agents, government vehicles whenever they see them. This is what's going on. So Hispanics, you guys got your wish. You got to flex. You got to hit some police officers in the head with rocks who happen to also be Hispanic, which is crazy as hell. But now what you gonna do? Because now the government is looking at y'all like a terrorist threat. So now they really about to start coming in, checking people's identification, checking people's status, snatching people up out of funerals and everything else. You guys just made it worse because the Democrat Party tricked you. They made you think that when you started to attack the police and shit, they were gonna be able to protect you. And you know what that little fat lady, that little fat Latina lady who was on stage acting gangster, you know what she did when the police started busting y'all ass? She didn't do shit. She was nowhere to be found. After she waddled her big ass on stage and played gangster, she left you guys out to dry. And I'm not saying this to make fun of you. I'm saying this because as a black person, we've seen all this shit before. That's why the black folks with sense are trying to tell y'all, chill, chale, carnal, relax. Because this is how you get tricked out of your position like almighty suspect. And that's exactly what y'all just did. Y'all didn't listen to the brains in the room, the other Latinos who are telling y'all, hey, chill, this psyops right here. These are psyops. They're trying to trigger you guys emotionally so you guys can trip the fuck out, and then they got all the license they need to come in and get y'all up out of here. But no one wants to listen. Y'all acting like black folks now, just getting mad because someone telling you the truth and you don't want to think about it. Let me tell you something. Democrats and Republicans want y'all up out of here. I promise you that. Y'all think, y'all know that Barack Obama is the deporter in chief, right? He's a Democrat. He deported more Hispanics, more illegal immigrants than any other president in history. Trump's deportations aren't even 5% of the deportations that Obama ran. So I want you to understand that there is a huge segment within the American political system that wants you guys out. And the reason, no, you're wrong, Mike D, and I'm going to tell you why. You got Indians trying to come up over here. You got Middle Easterners trying to come up over here. You got Ukrainians trying to come over here. You got South Africans trying to come over here. Latinos pay certain politicians like Kamala Harris to help. But y'all don't understand that other politicians are being paid by other groups to lessen your immigrant numbers in favor of building up their immigrant numbers. So it's just politicians are fighting right now based on who's paying them. The small minds don't want to hear that. But the people who have an understanding, they understand that. Bro, ICE vehicles are unmarked, but you can tell when you see siren. Trust me, dude, Mexican people know ICE vehicles, bro. Anybody who's hunting you, you're going to know what they look like. You're going to find ways to identify them. And when you see those license plates that say California exempt on a big ass black Suburban, you know it's either the FBI or it's ICE. It's not even going to say California exempt. It's going to have federal plates, right? Which it will say California exempt, but people know who's hunting them. So the idea that, oh, the vehicles are unmarked. Unmarked vehicles ain't fooling nobody, y'all. Not even dope dealers. But I want to play this real quick, and then we're gonna get into the panel because we got some people up here who got something to say.
But how you
No,
explain
they
this
were in
running into
downtown and in
graduation though?
Paramount.
Why
Can I finish my point? Because I already know I'm right.
Well, now you're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
But why they crashing graduation?
Listen,
Thank
if it was a lie, why can I finish my point? Because I already know I'm right. You're wrong.
But how you explain?
But Adam says they were doing ICE raids in downtown and Paramount, but he fails to mention the Paramount and the downtown ones. It was a case of misinformation.
They were in
running into
downtown and in
graduation though?
Paramount.
Why
Can I finish my point? Because I already know I'm right.
Well, now you're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
But why they crashing graduation?
Listen,
Thank
if it was a lie, why not let it be said so you could disprove it?
Okay,
Well, I mean, I listened to the New
You
York
know
Times
it's the truth when
podcast about it
everybody
this.
got a filibuster.
Okay, I listened to the New York Times podcast about it this morning, and they seemed very confident that it was in fact ICE raids
All right.
taking place in Paramount and
All right.
downtown.
Okay.
I don't know what's your basis of saying that it wasn't.
Paramount.
The
Compton,
truth is my
East LA,
basis.
Northeast LA.
The
and
violence and the protesting started because people mistook a federal drug bust as an ICE raid. Anyone can look that up on Google if they care beyond 2 gives of F's of about what happened. So the only point I'm making is this ultimately. The only people who are suffering are the same people who supported you, you idiot. They support illegal immigration. They support you coming over here, taking a job from an American. Now you're destroying their business. LA went totally blue. So now the people who voted for the Democrats who let 20 million illegal immigrants come in the country are now suffering. In what way is what these people are doing impacting?
This is not a
Okay,
partisan issue.
Just for the
first of
record,
all.
you were wrong. It was ICE raids over
Yeah,
the
well,
weekend.
all right.
Yeah.
I
It
was
is not-
wrong.
Hey, so you
I
Wait,
know I'm
you
right.
can't just admit you were wrong?
I already know I'm right.
Hey Brandon, so you just basically saying they reacting wrong.
It's not about ICE raids.
I know,
Because-
but you saying the way they reacting,
But there were ICE
It's
raids.
rooted. I see. He's trying to walk it back.
No, I feel like it's weird that you
There
lied
are-
and you're
there
not
have been-
admitting that you lied.
For real, because
Nobody never admit they lied.
Look, this is what I'm getting from it, bro.
And I never lied. I said it's not about ICE raids. He kept trying to make it about ICE raids. I kept saying, no, this is about misinformation because ICE been doing raids all year and these fools ain't broke out into one riot yet. This was coordinated. This is where someone planned this shit. If you see ICE and they're doing XYZ, attack them with Molotov cocktails like an army, like a military unit. And they executed it. Now the Marines is in your shit. Now the National Guard is in your shit. Now your Tia and Tio can't sell burritos on the side of the road and make money to feed their kids downtown LA. The ladies who sell hot dogs outside the Staples Centers are probably pretty pissed off at you right now because you fucked up the Mexican economy of downtown LA because you let a bunch of white people and black people who don't give 2 shits about you convince you that you were a soldier and not a civilian. Real quick, we go on 2 more minutes and then we going into the guest.
Kind of like you saying that people mistaking the drug bust for ICE raid, so they started looting and polluting. And what Adam is saying that there was ICE raids as well.
Yeah,
This
factually
drug bust you
was,
talking
yeah.
about.
We see, so they admit, Aunt Hefe, that's why I love Aunt Hefe. Aunt Hefe actually listens more than he talks. Adam admitted, basically, Adam is admitting, I'm just trying to filibuster what you're saying by throwing irrelevant facts out while you're trying to make a point that will help people understand this mistake that they made. But I get it. Most of his audience is Hispanic. So he has to do that. All that stuff where you see Smack and all them dudes from Community World going downtown LA, they're only doing that because their audience is Hispanic. They're not doing that because they actually care. They just, I want to pander to my audience so they won't stop watching me. And that's how lies get spread. That's how a lot of atrocities have started. People pandering to what's popular versus what's true. know that
That's
there
the
are.
cause they looting for.
We
basically.
all know that there were ICE raids, but what particularly kicked off this situation was a drug bust that was mistaken for an ICE raid. ICE raids are happening all over the country. They've been happening
No,
the whole
this
year.
is
There
not
were
like this.
specific ones
Yes.
this weekend.
Yes.
This is a straw man argument, and it's
Okay.
completely wrong, bro. Like,
Okay, now you do yours. He spoke. Yeah.
Literally, Lush said nothing. This is a straw man argument. You're completely wrong. Now, watch. Lush is not going to tell you how or why this is a straw man argument. All he's doing is throwing that shit out there because it's a conversation killer. But he's right. Now, watch what he says.
Now you do.
I didn't even get to finish my point.
No,
but all right.
I mean,
Y'all win.
Hey, could you
I don't
explain
give a
why they
fuck.
go to somebody's graduation and do that shit?
Listen, it don't matter what I explain because when I start talking,
No,
the
no,
liberals in the room.
Brandon's
just
mad
like
because he
every-
didn't get 10 minutes straight to speak
No, I
US
don't need
without.
10
I
minutes.
fact checked one
If I
thing that you
got
said, and now
one-
you're acting like you're being silent.
If I got one, listen, bro, I talk for 20 seconds. You all interrupting me.
Pop
Then
your
you,
shit.
if you talk for 10 seconds and someone interrupts you, then another person interrupts you, then another person interrupts you, and they spend 10 minutes interrupting you, that doesn't mean you talk for 10 minutes. That means you attempted to speak and they interrupted you for 10 minutes and overtalked you. Now Munchie is trying to appeal to emotion because the facts, they don't like the facts. So they're trying to now pivot to emotion. And I'm not going to let that shit happen. If you don't like it, kick me off. Say he wants to talk
Go
for
ahead,
10
pop
minutes.
your shit, bro. Go
Well,
ahead.
yeah,
get
what
it
do you
off.
feel like you haven't said
Get
yet?
it off.
I'm telling you that the thing that's jumped this off was a mistaken drug bust. But what I'm ultimately telling these people, these Hispanic people, since they want to act like it's only them, you're destroying businesses of people who support you. And you think that that's going to hurt Donald Trump. It's not. It's not going to stop anything.
Did they,
and if you would take 2
destroy the
seconds
Chamoy
to
factory?
stop, if you take 2 seconds to stop being ignorant, the mayor supports you, the governor supports you, the businesses downtown support you, whether you're illegal or not. Why destroy their stuff? What you're doing is turning these people against you now because you're acting crazy.
But that's like a criticism of every riot. Every riot affects. So you go back to the 92 riots. What were they destroying? They didn't go to Rodeo and smash up the Gucci store. They smashed up shit in their own neighborhood.
So the 92 riots, because I kicked off from my hood, they was so basically what they was targeting any business that wasn't black.
Okay.
Which was damn near all.
Asian community.
But what I'm
Some
saying
black
is,
businesses
But that,
I had the
but hold
same-
on, but just to clarify,
I had the
that's
same.
because there wasn't that many
I had the-
black-owned businesses in South Central. At the
I
time.
had
But
the
it wasn't
same-
because it wasn't that many owned black businesses. It was because the Rodney King beating and then the
No.
brother got killed in the store.
Correct,
So
correct.
it was just like any
Correct.
business that's over here that's not black, we gonna loot and pollute.
Correct, but what were like the significant black businesses that were spared?
Those
Like,
black businesses back then. Why you don't think
No.
it was black?
There were not many black businesses back then. Black people had long since in the 80s sold off their businesses to Asian and Mexican immigrants. So when they was burning shit down, it was not that they were specifically targeting their businesses. It was that there weren't a whole lot of black businesses, so they didn't hit them. They didn't hit them. And then because when the rooftop Koreans came up on the roof with the guns, they didn't target those businesses, right? But we got just like one more minute of this, and then we're gonna get into the convo.
Black business.
Yeah,
there
for
was a
sure.
significantly less in 1992. There
No,
was
now
I
I,
don't
think
know
it's
about
less.
that, brother.
I think black people was doing that back then when I was young.
more densely populated, 20%.
Has to happen. I said the same thing about the BLM riots. They were acting like a bunch of animals out there, burning down the pharmacy where their grandma go get her medicine, and their kids can't go to school to the lot. You're only hurting yourself. But you think you're hurting the government. Trump still won. So the lesson that can be learned here without all the filibustering is this. If you're going to do something to attack your enemy, quote unquote, go burn something that hurts them. Go to Orange County and do something because that's where Trump has the support. How does you destroying a business that services you, that supports you?
So I'm guessing you voted for Trump, right?
Of course, 3 times.
So what about when Trump led them people to the Capitol and told them to basically told them to do their shit? They went in there and you know
I
what
was
I'm
against
saying?
And they
that
all
too.
got pardoned.
I was against
And they
that
all got
too.
pardoned.
I was against that too.
Let's hear 10 minutes.
But
about
at
that
least,
then, 'cause
but
you-
no,
you need to
let
get
me
on
tell you
Trump.
this, Munchie. At least they destroyed some government buildings. That's actually doing something. How is destroying the
But that's-
Adidas store making an impact? The Trump supporters are actually have intelligence.
What
they
is-
went to the government
what
and
is the
destroyed some
Adidas-
stuff. They didn't
what is-
destroy their own
Hold on,
neighborhood.
though. What is Adidas as a corporation doing for the Latino
Let me ask you
or
a
black
question.
community?
Let me ask you a question,
Answer
Les.
that question.
Let me ask you a question, Les.
Answer that question.
What is Adidas doing for the Latino community? Bro, how many people that are Latino do you think worked at the Adidas store downtown LA? Probably everybody in the damn building worked there. How many people that are Latino deliver the shoes to the Adidas store downtown LA? How many businesses sell food to the employees of the, how many Latino owned businesses sell food to the Adidas, to the employees of the Adidas store downtown LA? And you could say that for any store downtown LA. But he's not even thinking about the people that work there who woke up one morning and all of a sudden, I don't have a job. How am I going to feed my family? See, they don't want to think about that stuff. They want to do drugs. Drugs make you not care about nothing. So when you start trying to act like you care, you're leaving a lot of shit out. You're omitting a lot of information. But what he's basically saying is, I don't give a fuck. I just want to be able to use their pain and suffering as a vehicle for me to get likes and clicks on YouTube. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But you're not going to sit in my face and try to play me as if you're this super concerned citizen. You're not. What did Trump supporters destroy?
What is
No,
The
I'm
Capitol.
Yeah,
What did they destroy? The Capitol, right?
correct.
What are these mindless idiots destroying?
They literally went to the
What are these?
the
epicenter-
It's a simple
epicenter-
question.
No,
Yeah, but now you
It's
don't
a
even give him 2
simple-
seconds to
No,
answer.
because he's
it.
trying to go somewhere else.
No, I'm not. The epicenter, the epicenter
fried.
of where the riot was at the detention center.
Bro, they
They
haven't
literally-
destroyed one detention center.
That's literally where they were congregating.
Can you show me
That
where
was that's
detention?
where it was at.
Lush,
It's right in
they are
downtown
currently
LA. Right out-
they're currently going into shopping, like clothing
So
stores.
earlier you said that they were destroying businesses that were beneficial to their community.
They are.
What exactly has Adidas done for
They're
the
not
Latino
just destroying
community?
Adidas, but if I want to go buy my kid a pair of shoes, I can't now.
Nobody should be buying their kids a pair of
Here we
shoes
go.
anyway because we
Get
consume it.
Amazon.
Nobody shouldn't be a consumer. I'm not keeping it real, right?
It just
You're
feels
acting
like
like they're
whenever there's a
destroying their own
protest,
community.
which is a very American thing to protest to get what you want, the commentary that's supposed to debunk rioting or protesting is like, oh well, I can't go get my kids shoes from the Adidas store. It's like, who gives a f-? Like,
Yeah.
people were angry enough that they had the desire to make this big of a stink. I might not 100% agree with it, but I can't take it away from them.
Nobody care about no
they didn't
Adidas
have
right
any
now.
way to
So,
get
Yeah.
it.
Listen, people weren't angry enough. People were too pussy to run up in the federal building because they know they would have got shot. So what they did was they took their anger out on people weaker than them. So all of our immigrant buddies are housed in that building right there. But I'm a bitch, so I don't want to go up in there and risk getting whooped up. So I'm gonna go down the street and burn down this lady business that she's been feeding her family with for the past 20 years. I'm telling you, this is the most ignorant shit ever. I'm scared to run up in the federal building, so I'm gonna go take 50 Mexican people who look just like me out of a job. Just think about it. And then he says, oh yeah, this is the history. Dude, you don't even know the history. You wouldn't know the history if it kicked you in the nuts, Adam. The history, because I remember Martin Luther King, who told people, don't be violent, and they didn't. They weren't violent. They listened. He organized protest. He didn't sit up and perpetuate insurrections. That's the difference. Stop trying to act like y'all shit is our shit. When we was running shit, we made it happen peacefully. We got whooped up and didn't hit nobody back because we believed in what we were fighting for. But when you don't really care or believe in what you claim to be fighting for, you allow your quote unquote peaceful protest to be taken over by looters and criminals and insurrectionists. And that's what's going on downtown Los Angeles. But they had nothing to say about this.
Yeah.
It makes total sense when you think that
Is
people
that a
work.
hypothetical or is it a real Adidas store that got hit?
It
Who
really
cares about
is.
Adidas?
Yeah,
But-
Well, I think
Is Adidas sponsoring?
And the answer is, who cares about Adidas? I'm sure the people who work there cared. This is why you just can't have any and everybody talking on serious issues. because a lot of people are just too damn dumb, and other people don't care enough to take the conversation seriously. Aunt Hefe knew exactly what I was saying. That's why he was just laughing. Like, yeah, these dudes just don't get it. All right, guys, we are going to get into all of our wonderful guests who are up here. And if you want to be a guest, simply hit the link that's down in the comments, and you can come right on up, and we'll let you say your piece. Real quick, before we get started, and I know I keep saying that, let me grab these super chats real quick so I don't have to interrupt anybody. Turney Tyke, they were acting like LA was under occupation, expressing how it used to be Mexico. It's America now, right? Y'all got whooped up, and then y'all sold it. Just accept it. Sticks and Stones LA, shout out to the bro Brandon. They wasn't trying to let you speak. The truth on No Jumper. Facts. Because all the Edgars were mad. The whole building of No Jumper is mad at me at this point, damn near, which is crazy because I don't care. But I don't act ignorant and drug-induced enough, I guess. They celebrate black people who be on dope and shit because that make them feel smart. Free Zone Group, UTV, to all the Mexicans in the U.S., who would you defend in a war, Mexico or the United States? That's a good question. Thank you, Free Zone. I think I know the answer to that. And the answer is America. I believe Mexicans in America would defend America. Because if you look at all the cops they were abusing, the cops were Latino. Sticks and Stones again. Hey, somebody needs to put a battery in a smoke detector. Trump asked Congress to get the National Guard January 6th. They said no. He just ordered the National Guard for these riots and said, damn the Dems. Glad he did. Right. Because the Democrats want to let this shit get torn down because they're trying to do what they did in the summer of love in 2020. We're going to let our cities get destroyed, and then we're going to blame Trump for it. And dummies are going to believe it and vote against Republicans. It's not going to work, buddy. Thank you for the $9.99 Sticks and Stones LA. I appreciate that. All right, that was it. Okay, let's go. Hey, I hear I know who it is. Truth teller, it's you. If I hear it again, you're gone. I know exactly who it is.
You think it's my shit, bro? I don't hear it, bro.
No, I hear you. You're Mexican, and I know you're trying to do the beep sound. So later on, you can go back. Oh, look, you know what? As a matter of fact, guys, I let a Hispanic person up here. He's disrespecting the panel. See, because he's proving to you exactly how people like him think. That's why they burning down their own grandma business because they're mad at Donald Trump. No. Listen, bro.
Hey, Brandon, I want to tell you something, brother. I respect you, bro. I think you're a level.
Listen, you don't respect me because you know you hear that damn fire alarm beeping and you're trying to play games.
No, bro. Seriously, bro. I'm not trying to play games. I already stepped out the room.
Daniel Beverly, go ahead. You're next.
I think you're
tell her
you're
next. Tell her you're next. Daniel Beverly is first. Go, Daniel.
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out what part of illegal don't they understand? I don't even know why we sit up here making all these concessions and worrying about how we kick them out. If you're here illegally, you don't have a right to stand on. And Adam said something real stupid. He was like, protesting is American. Yeah, that's true. But if you're illegal, you're not an American. So what are we talking about? Try to sneak your black ass into a country illegally and see if they don't shoot you. Or at minimum, beat the brakes off you. And we sitting up here trying to make concessions and worried about gently removing illegal people from the country. Just get them up out of here. You got to come in the right way. You got to pay taxes. You can't just pull up to the table and eat.
Facts.
I land my plane.
You can't even get into a damn farmer's market without paying your dues. Go ahead, truth teller.
Yo, Brandon, what up, bro?
What up?
Hey, listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing, bro, because I'm from the Bay Area, right? It's fucking makes me sad to see the situation in LA between black and brown, homie, because up here in the Bay, never been like that, bro. I interact with black people daily. I don't know, homie. We shouldn't be at each other's throats, coming because a black man is not my enemy, bro. The real enemy, you know who the real enemy is? People like Adam, bro. Agent of chaos, divider. You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean,
I
you
think
know him, bro. You know he's a liar. He's a fake. I think you're a good dude, and your heart is in a good place, bro. So I fucking respect you, dude. But you gotta understand, all these people protesting are youngsters, bro. They're youngsters. They don't have leadership. I'm not saying they're right, bro, because it's wrong, bro. Destroying your own community is just a reaction to discrimination because these motherfuckers are little kids, little youngsters with no guidance, bro. And unfortunately, since their parents can't speak, they feel like they gotta fight for their parents, bro. You know? The white
I
man has done a number on all of us, bro. He
I think
colonized
the
all of
parents
us.
are I think the parents are actually smarter than the kids. The parents just they're not gonna get all turned up, and the kids are products of turn up culture.
Yeah, this generation is different. When you brought up Martin Luther King, that generation was brought up on morals and respect. Right now, this is the crash out generation, brother.
Well, they're gonna crash their ass out right into jail. And
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
talking
I
about all
mean,
of them, not just Hispanics, blacks too.
and you know the whole thing, dude, is that a lot of us are here legally, bro. And unfortunately, we're being motherfucking stereotyped and profiled too. And I know you know how that feels as a black man. Because when I was a youngster with a bald head and my homeboy with braids was next to me that was black, and we were smoking on a blunt as dumb young teenagers, we were always profiled. And we had white boys that smoked just as much weed as us, never got in trouble, never got suspended from school, never got pulled over, and motherfuckers were selling the shit too. But you know, the first one to get targeted is a Hispanic or a black person, and we're killing each other. Gang culture, bro, has put us back 100 years, bro. We're the only two ethnicities that kill their own in record numbers. Look, why, bro? I don't see Hindus fresh off the boat gangbang. They don't even own these blocks, brother.
Well, as you say that, a lot of what you're saying is right. I push back against the discrimination claim because if you look at places like LA, look at this video. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, bro. We're divided, bro. 50-50. 50% conservative, 50% fucking
Yeah,
radical,
but
bro.
all these guys who are cops are not necessarily conservatives.
Names.
No.
We got Sanchez, we got Camacho, we got Escobar. Damn, this fool looks scared. Espeleta, Reyes. Let's see, we got Perez. We got Ortega right here. Damn, we got a Garcia right here too, bro. This fool right here, what is that? Nicholus? He's so new, he just had to chalk it on his hat. All right, and then we got Alvarez. And then we got Perez right there.
So do you realize how ignorant a Hispanic person sounds when they call me a racist when I'm defending Hispanic law enforcement
I
against
don't think you're
Hispanic?
racist, Brandon.
No, I know,
I
but
think
I'm making a point. The point
yeah.
is you can't say I'm racist. Everyone in the mix
You
is
know what I think?
Hispanic. I'm just saying the
I
cops
think you
are the
love your people,
law-abiding
bro.
ones.
That's it. You love
But
your
this really
people
has
and you
nothing
look
to
for
do
your
with.
people first.
But this really has nothing to do with black and Hispanic. That's what I keep trying
Yeah.
to tell y'all. Those cops were not black. This
Yeah,
is
no, for real.
what this is about: right versus wrong. And on both sides of the aisle, there are Hispanics. But a Hispanic dude busting a Hispanic cop in the head with a rock
Yeah.
is wrong. And if I say that dude's an animal, that dude's a fucking criminal, that does not make me racist.
No, dude, of course not. I want to make this quick point, brother, because
Go ahead.
if you're not Mexican, you won't understand this, but there's a divide between the Mexican and the Mexican American. When I go to visit Mexico, I'm a gringo, I'm a foreigner, I'm not a Mexican. When I go to around white folks, I'm a Mexican. You know what I mean? I'm not Mexican enough for the people in Mexico, dude, because when I speak Spanish, I speak it with an accent. You know what I mean? So it's like the colorism in the black community. It's divide and conquer, dude. We keep fucking each other up. We're our own worst enemies sometimes, bro.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
I understand it.
we're divided, brother. I mean, when I look up to the black struggle because you guys were able to be a unit. Hispanics are too divided, brother. We're down the middle. Half of Hispanics support Trump. That's a fact. The
Yeah,
other half are radicalized. There's no middle ground.
and the funny thing is, there are even now more since this kicked off. More legal immigrants have started siding with Trump because of this situation.
Yeah, and another thing, Brandon, I know you don't do this on purpose, but not every Hispanic's an illegal immigrant, and you can't necessarily tell because I'm Mexican, and I've ran into Mexicans that don't speak any English, but they have a green card.
Wait a minute. I don't know where I said all Hispanics are illegal immigrants because I lived in California.
You didn't.
Okay,
but you say the word illegals a lot when referring to
I'm
Hispanics.
saying it when I say illegals, I mean anyone who's illegally here. I'm not just talking about Hispanics. Bro.
Yeah, makes sense.
Bro, listen, I am smart enough to, I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. I am smart enough to know there could be a grandma who been here since who was born here and not even know a lick of English. I know that there are people who are born in America, move back to Mexico for 30 years, and then come back to America. Like, that happens all the time. I have a friend, her daughter got married, moved to Mexico. Now she just came back. So your ability to speak English doesn't mean anything. The Asians should have taught you that. Because a lot of Asians don't know English and they're American citizens. That has nothing to do with it.
Asian, they own everything, yet they don't fucking speak English, but somehow they come to the hood and they own all the fucking mini marts and all the fucking where they sell the white teas.
They do business with each other, so you don't have to know English if the guy you buy in the store from is from the same country as you. But I think when people come at me, they're projecting their own ignorance of the situation onto me. I know the nuances of Hispanic, even heritage. Like a lot of people don't know this. You know how the cholos wear their socks up to their knees and stuff?
Yeah, that was some traditional fucking native shit.
Because in Mexican culture, in Hispanic culture, it's considered like to be not masculine to show a lot of skin. Like, I learned that from a Mexican person, actually a Mexican person. And then there's some Mexican people who they won't let you call them Hispanic or Latino. They are like, I am Mexican. Do not call me Latino. Do not call me Hispanic. Like, I've even been in rooms with dudes like that. There's a lot of
they're Americanized terms, bro. Latino, Hispanic, those are Americanized terms,
Like I worked with a dude who, if you called him Latino, Hispanic, he would literally damn near be ready to beat your ass. He was that nationalistic. Like, he was like, I am a Mexican. There are cultural there's cultural significance to that name, and he wants you to respect it. I'm cool with that shit. I don't care. Like, bro, for real, I respect you. You're good. Tell me what you need me to know so I can respect you. But when I speak on crime, don't ever try to make that about race, because my people is out here running, acting a damn fool, and I'm all over their ass. Because it ain't
for real.
But
I feel like it's the anger, the youth, the youth and the uncontrolled anger and no leadership that leads you to do this foolish things. Because, all right, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm from the Bay, so I was part of the George Floyd protests, right? They were buzzing people from out of town that nobody even fucking knew, coming through like white folks with painted pink fucking hair and all these fucking Antifa fuckers. They were buzzing them in 3-4 buses. Nobody know who they are, dog. Real shit. Because I've been to protests. I'm not new, bro. I'm not new to protest. I was protesting since the Iraq War.
Y'all realize most protests only happen in states where you can't have a gun?
I didn't
know. That's the whole thing, but it's a human right to protest, bro. Right or wrong.
Here's the thing. They need to take away people's ability to wear masks at protests. If you're doing
what protest gonna do for you?
If you're doing peaceful protest, well, it's an American right. People like to do it.
But what it's gonna do for you, though?
I don't know.
Black people been protesting. Black people been protesting.
Buddha. That's not the point. That's not the point. Like,
minorities have a right to vote. Thanks to protest.
You got a right to do anything.
But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. They need to take the masks out of the protests, because that allows people to commit crime and think they're going to get away with it. If you have a mask, you either leave or you get arrested. That should be the rule.
Can I say one last thing?
You can wait your goddamn turn. It's Robert's turn. Go, Rob. Oh, yeah, Rob.
Don't try to get sassy with me, Bucci.
Yeah, I just believe that there are Democratic operatives that may be undermining these movements. But I also do believe there are troublemaker minded people like Adam who would just jump at any opportunity to throw a cocktail because he's just a degenerate. But to play devil's advocate, people don't know how to peacefully protest because they don't believe that if they peacefully protest that it would get the media coverage that they think they need in order to affect change in America. But they're really just shooting themselves in the foot and they're shifting public consensus against their entire argument. See, in the civil rights movement in the 60s, it was a largely like peaceful movement. And there were even meetings beforehand where they were discussing like the optics and they wanted to be as peaceful as possible. They had groups that were teaching people how to be peaceful and everything like that. So, they got their asses whooped in Selma and it provided, an opportunity for the public to actually have like an empathetic response. So
I
so
don't mean to
that's
interrupt you. You know, the only reason the protesters worked it for the bus boycott because it took them a year, and all black people didn't ride no buses nowhere for over a year. It won't just because they protest. They actually took action and done something. And ain't nothing nobody can do but get out of this country if you're not a legal citizen. People out there doing nothing for nothing, and it's gonna
Thank
make
you for that, brother.
Republicans still
I
be
wasn't
Let
I
him finish
wasn't
his
empowered
point.
finished yet.
Let him
afterwards.
finish his
I
point.
wasn't finished yet.
Let him
But
finish his point,
but
guys.
okay, that's cool that it took a year, but I was just emphasizing peace is what makes people actually empathetic towards your cause. That's how you have an impactful protest and you just shoot yourself in the foot when you start throwing shit and tearing shit up. Thank you,
Thank
Brandon.
you, brother. Go ahead, Music Maniacs.
I'm Brandon. Shout out to all the real Americans in the chat and all the YNs and the Edgars of No Jumper. But Brandon, you did get wolf packed on yesterday's episode. It was like a 5-on-1 type deal. Um, Everyone else is like super liberal and left or think they are or whatever. But Adam quoting like New York Times like it's the factual news that the American people go to is pretty hilarious. But look, like these liberal Democrats, they're in their own universe. It gets really deep, man. But I just wanted to say that it is spreading. You know what I mean? It started in L.A., it's in Chicago, New York City, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, everything.
Yeah,
But this Saturday is that No Kings bullshit thing. Then it's going to be everywhere. Like not just, and I'm not trying to promote it to people to go to that shit, but like, this Saturday, the counter protests, obviously for Trump in DC, but like there's all these I think it is called like mobilized.com or something, but it is all these different areas. I mean, not just the big cities, but the small towns or the suburbs around the big cities, bro. And it's the note because the left thinks Donald Trump is a king or whatever, or they think
right.
he thinks he's a king. And so this Saturday, just be on the lookout. Keep eyes on the back of your heads, everyone. Just there's a lot of crazy people out there, and there is a lot. Obviously, this is kind of like a conservative platform, so just be aware that it's this Saturday. It's not going to be a good summer. I don't know. It's pretty eerie seeing all this stuff, all these protests, and them kind of get growing. I mean, it's kind of small. The ones in Texas. I mean, you can see the actual group of people in one area, but compared to LA. But all you people in LA and Cali, just keep your heads up and pray every night and just stay positive
Yeah.
and push through. I can't even imagine living in that area. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Texas, so
It's so
um,
crazy how the Democrat Party has basically decided, look, if you guys don't vote for us, we're just going to make chaos for the 4 years where we're not in power. That's basically what the Democrats are telling the American people. No matter how bad our policies are, vote for us or else. Because if you don't vote for us, we're going to make your city unsafe We're going to burn your city to the ground. You're not going to be able to go to the store. You're not going to be able to leave the house. Like, who would vote for these people knowing that this is what their agenda is? They let 20 million estimated 20 million illegals into the country. It's almost like they sent them to these places so that they could activate them like terrorist cells. That's how I feel about this. Because now all of a sudden, shit's jumping off in all those cities where they went.
I mean, like 20 years ago, and I'll get off and let everyone. I like listening to the show, but 20 years ago, right? Like maybe right after 9/11, you know, seeing these young people, these YNs, these Edgars, everything, in these videos and on TV,
Young
we're in
Caucasians
these.
too, homie. Don't leave them out.
I mean,
They're the main ones
everyone's
joining.
there.
I think
Everyone's there, but we need
white people, bro.
the white
Antifa's
people
mostly
need.
white, bro.
The white people need a nickname. What can we give the white people a nickname?
The
That's what I'm saying.
Dylans.
The
The
Karens.
The
Dylans.
white peas,
We
bro.
can't.
Young Caucasians.
No, the
I don't think you
Dylans,
can.
bro.
I
Dylan Roof.
don't think you
Y'all
can
the
use the term
Dylans.
YNs though. That's very
Hey,
dismissive saying YNs.
no, on God, like, but I think like if you're really in the know, like everyone knows, like I said with that white racist when I was debating him, white people are really behind all this shit, low key. But I think people understand that at this point because
Do y'all know the same Bernie voters or Trump voters? So it's really not that. It's the same people. It's really no difference. White people are white people. They're gonna vote for their best interests, and Trump will fit their best interests, not illegal immigrants.
these young white liberals, they're not voting for their best interest. They're voting because they feel sorry for other people that they think are less than them.
All the swing states flip to Trump, the same states
That's
that
over
Bernie would have
immigration.
won, but Bernie didn't win the states.
The
That's
only reason that
same people.
the only reason the swing states flipped is because one, Kamala was so unpopular. She alienated independence with the boys in women's sports and with the immigration stuff. That didn't really have nothing to do with white people just being white people. She literally lost votes because she went against fundamental American beliefs that even people who like her weren't willing to vote for. People stayed home mostly. It wasn't because they voted for someone else. Let's go NYC Daily.
Yeah, what's up? Listen, I'm very confused because I really want to hear from some of these protesters as to what about America seems oppressive to you that you want to go and do this, right? And then I want to know, like, if they feel like this is such a powerful move, if this is how you get what you want, if this is how you find peace, why don't you do that in your own neighborhoods where the real oppressors, the criminals, the gang members, the guys that's extorting you, robbing you, killing you, beating you up when you come to the store, making your kids sell drugs for them, why don't you do that to them? Because we know you can't go back to your countries and do that because in most of these countries, not just Mexico, it's Haiti too, you get killed for standing outside for too long. People are just outside desperate. So I really want to hear from one of them. Why is it you guys think this is going to work, and what is oppressive about America versus what's going on in your neighborhoods daily?
Nah, well, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, I don't think they're gonna get what they want with this, bro. I actually disagree with the tactic, but I mean, as far as this, dude, I think ICE is failing. All the hoodlums and gang members are running around fucking free. Meanwhile, they're targeting construction workers, dudes that work at fucking factories. That's what the anger is over. If they were to come and take all these fucking hoodlums, take them 2 for 1, homie, like, I wouldn't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, they're only holding us back, bro. And they're holding themselves back. To me, being in the gang, bro, excuse my French, is some white man's puppet shit, bro. Because at the end of the day, you're doing the KKK job for them. You're killing your own. Mexicans kill Mexicans. Black kill black. We need to stop that shit, bro. We don't
I'm
need
just
a
trying to figure
plan.
out how you
We're the
keep putting
plan.
black in this.
Let's move on to
No, well,
thank you,
because
Move on to KP.
why, bro? Why do I include black people, bro? Why? Because we're both
Yeah,
in the same
you just
neighborhood.
we didn't tell
Hey,
you
We're
to
listen,
come
both
here
hey,
with
in
hey,
that.
the
hey,
same.
hey, don't talk to each other. You make your point and keep it moving because shut up, Daniel. I'm with Truth Teller on this. Shut up, Daniel. Go ahead, KP.
How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing well.
Okay, that's good. Now, I was kind of listening to a lot of shit, but I just think one of the things that for me, I think that people should acknowledge is a lot of the motherfuckers that's doing the looting and shit, man. They not there for no political purpose. There's opportunists.
Right.
These are young kids out here who seeing opportunities. I mean, my sister, when she was in college, she led plenty of protesters at UCR, plenty of them. And during the George Floyd stuff, she was leading protests and everything that the people who were actually there for a political purpose, they wasn't doing it. But the young kids gonna do young kids shit. That's just opportunity. And I just don't like that people try to, sensationalize and say, hey, this is what the protesters are doing. Like, nah, let's just keep it real. We all know, we're all grown enough to know, and we all being young, that we see young opportunity see. It's like go back to the 92 riots. My brothers that was in the 92 riots, them niggas they didn't give a fuck about Rodney King. Them niggas knew that niggas was hitting the Carson Mall, so they hit the Carson Mall. They hit the spots. They didn't give a fuck about Rodney King. Them niggas, they told me when I was a kid, they don't give a fuck about that nigga. It's opportunity. I don't think that has a political purpose. I just hate that people putting the two together saying, hey, these people are doing this and these people are doing that, and these are the people from this party. I just like that. To me is very dismissive because it's like we are smart enough to know that these agitators are not there for that. These agitators, hey, nigga, it's all this shit going on. Let's hit this Nike store. Let's hit this jewelry store. I mean, these are young niggas who are robbing. These are young niggas who are hitting licks. I've been a young nigga who robbed, so I know we just gonna hit a lick. And also, the whole statement the brother was saying about the gangs and all that shit, and I get it, but a lot of times, man, motherfuckers in the community don't have the mentality that people think they do. They thinking, oh, niggas is killing niggas and all that shit, bro. That shit is just hurt people hurting people. That's not racially motivated. It's just hurt people hurting people. We are not taught as young black men how to deal with grief, how to deal with our emotions, how to deal with pain. So the first thing we are taught is, if a motherfucker take somebody from you, go do that. This is just something that's been passed down. So that's my thing. Is coming from a former gang member, and Brandon known me for 20 years. He know me from when I was in my bullshit, and he know me today. When we didn't know how to deal with grief, how to deal with losses, how to deal with our emotions, we went out and did that. And that's what you're seeing a lot of young people doing today. A lot of these young kids out here are going out there to protest for their parents because they're citizens, but their parents not. And they don't know how to deal with that. And they just feel like, okay, agitate. And we just need people on both sides to be able to sit people down and have a conversation. And I'm all for the conversations. And Brandon know that. That's my brother. I love him. I'm waiting to see him get in this little fight that he said Adam gonna hook up. We gotta go train. He ain't trying to talk about that though.
Oh yeah, Blue Devil.
You running from that conversation.
No, Blue Devil apparently accepted my offer to fight, but I never challenged him. But I was like, I would fight him. But he said he accepts. So we trying to get a bag. And if they make the money right, I'm down to get it cracking.
I'm just making sure. If you turn down anything, we got to squabble. So
I ain't turning down shit.
I'm just making sure. You already know.
Hell no. I'm happy to do this.
Well, you know what, Brandon? I love you, Tuck. I'm stop calling you Brandon. I love you, Tuck. I'm gonna call you later on. All right.
All right, hit me, bro.
All right.
Love you too. Okay. We got Buddha. Buddha been chomping at the bit.
My bad, big dog. But I'm gonna go off what you said yesterday about like the car accident shit. If you illegal, they'll let you go. Well, it's like y'all was arguing about that. And if you go out there and run in somebody's car right now, you going to jail. Simple and plain. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. If you break the law, your ass going to jail. So y'all protesting for nothing because they broke the law by being over here illegally. This shit is pointless. And I don't get how grown people don't see that. And that's all I got to say, big dog. I'm just going to watch the show.
I'm with you 100%. The little Edgar dude was getting mad at me, but that's just because they immature. And Adam, he's a cool dude, but Adam hires a lot of people, and I don't know if they're hired because they're actually good at what they do, or they're just hired because he's just friends with them. And sometimes when people are in a position where they think other people want to be in that position, they have this delusional idea of themselves. But who knows? Go ahead, Administrator.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Oh man, this is bigger than just some protests. This immigration thing, how it is now, we got people that are trying to stop this very legal process of removing people that are not citizens of this country. And for instance, I was watching this video on YouTube, this white boy walking around. He like this little right winger kind of dude or whatever. And this one Mexican dude spotted him and knew who he was.
Nick Shirley.
Yes,
Nick Shirley would have beat that nigga's ass. Nick Shirley is not a
right, but exactly, yeah, he wasn't scared. But the thing was what I noticed was one of the dude's friends was like, "Yo, like let's go. You're gonna get deported."
Right.
Like, how many other people that ain't got papers are in that crowd throwing bricks at the law enforcement, at the army? You know, what do you call a foreigner that comes to this land and starts assaulting our law enforcement, our military?
Not for real.
You know what I mean? Like the army is necessary, because if you interrupting the removal of non-citizens, that's damn near an act of war.
Just what this guy was doing to me, like I would have never had that much patience. I would have turned around and knocked that fool straight out.
Yeah, this is just the tip of the. This is not even like. This isn't even. What do you see what's developing today with the U.S. Evacuating all the Middle East military bases?
No.
Yeah, it's about to go down, bro. Like, this protest ain't nothing. Y'all better get 30 days worth of non-perishables.
Right. People ain't even. This is to me. I think this is all part of the plan. Distract. Boom, some crazy shit kick off. I want to let y'all see what happened with the Nick Shirley situation, because this does not help your argument. This type of shit.
Don't touch the camera. Hey.
Tries to.
I don't do anything.
Get the fuck out of here. I know you fucking do. You fucking white nationalist motherfucker. How? I know who the fuck you are, you fucking Republican bitch.
Bro, you don't need to put it. This is one of them. They're gonna get it.
I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fucking tell it to his fucking face. You fucking little faggot.
What did I do?
You know what the fuck you do?
What did I do?
You know you fucking antagonize people? Oh, fuck your fucking bitch ass up.
I'm
Get
not
the fuck
doing
out of here.
anything.
Get the fuck out of here. Just like the cops.
See, this is what happens when you have friends that have no ability to control you. Like that's a big thing I've been preaching on No Jumper. If someone doesn't have the ability or enough of your respect for them to be able to say, bro, stop, and you stop, that's not your real friend. Go hang around a group of equals or something. Bro got on.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, I have a right to be here just like you.
Yeah, so do we, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm not.
So why the cops here? You're a fucking cop.
And the other big dude, he looked like the one who actually gonna do the damage. This little squatty fat motherfucker probably ain't gonna do nothing. But the homie he was with had some guns. That looked like the muscle right there. He seems like he's emboldened by the fact that this dude got his back. But I think they're both illegals.
Motherfucker.
Okay, I'm not.
So why the cops here? You're a fucking cop. That's what you
I'm not
fucking
the
are.
cop.
Yeah, you are. You
How
fucking
am I a
asshole.
cop?
You want to fucking steal that shit? You want to
Get out of here, bro.
What? I'm fucking cornered, you little bitch. Are you scared?
I'm not scared.
Fucking faggot.
What did I do?
You're a little fucking bitch. I fucking see you on fucking line. Always
Okay.
fucking antagonizing right-wing fucking ideology, motherfucker. This is our fucking land, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Dude, I have every right to be here.
I don't give a fuck. Not today. I'm the fucking police. I'm telling you not to be here, motherfucker.
Well, I want to be here.
Well, I'm
That's the
fucking
rationale of the illegal. It's our land.
Cops, you fucking faggot.
Get out of
You're
here.
a fucking asshole. I know you are, you fucking right-wing motherfucker. You're a little fucking bitch.
I have every right to be here just like you.
Nick should have pulled that damn mask off his face.
Bro, you should have.
Well, I'm gonna be right next to you the whole fucking time.
Okay.
Fucking cartel, you faggot.
Do it. That guy's mad at me for being here. You know, I'm just trying to show what's going on here.
I'm your personal bodyguard now, motherfucker.
Thank you.
You little bitch.
I didn't do anything to you, sir. Now the police are backing up. People are taking over the police from here. I just broke the windshield of the police. So it makes no sense. I understand why the protesters are out here today. They're upset with ICE. The police are trying to leave, though, and they won't let the police leave. watch. The police are trying to leave out of here. And watch what's going to happen to this police officer when he drives away.
That guy got shot in the chest with a rubber bullet. You saw him kick the cop in the back of his leg. Then he got shot in the chest. He didn't even get arrested because he's in another video with a big ass red mark on his chest. Watch him kick the cop in the back of the leg. Right here. And is it ironic that the cop is Hispanic?
Right, they all are. Isn't majority LA cops?
Yeah, I told people. I said 95% of LAPD is Hispanic. No, it's not. It's 50%. I'm like, if you believe that, you're a dumbass. But guys, always remember, there is something that exists among white people called the silent majority. Those are the ones who watch and they don't talk. They just go vote. And they also share their experience with other white people. This right here might flip California back red. I'm not even joking.
You seen they shot that reporter?
Bro, she got everything she deserved. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Thank you, Most High.
What's up, Bernie?
What up?
Getting in, Long Beach native here. You know, respect to standing up, speaking the voice, you know, when you're up in that platform, and no fear against the emotional women dudes that you be running into. I'm gonna speak on this topic lightly, but I really just got on because I heard something in the No Jumper interview yesterday. So based on the topic, I agree with I forgot the dude. He not in here no more, but he was talking about protests really don't work. And from what I've been looking at throughout the history, what really does work is either blood or money. So if you would, you know, attack with force, or if you attacking in pockets, that's the only thing that's gonna make change. As far as like the Hispanics in the community, the Mexicans, when I grew up, it was a lot different than what it is now. It just don't seem like the camaraderie is there anymore. It seems like they more leaning towards being accepted by white folks. So I believe that like everybody got their wake up call, you know, that Negro wake up call. That's what they call it, and that's what's happening right now with the protests with them. It's basically getting the Negro wake up call. It's like, shit, you thought you was one of us, but you not. That's just how it go. And I don't think black people should be around or be in that situation because we done been through this. So we just sit back and watch how everybody else try to do what we did as far as that. But really what I got on here for is because you was talking to 607 and it was like basically like a 2-minute segment. Y'all was talking about flat earth, and you said something like if you stood on Signal Hill, you wouldn't be able to see. I forgot what you said.
I said you would, if the earth was flat, if you stood on Signal Hill or even just walked out to the beach that's right by my house, you would be able to look to the east and see Mount Everest, or at least Mount Fuji from Japan shooting up into the sky, and you can see neither.
Oh, that's wrong. I agree with you on a lot of shit, but I think that's where it's healthy at. Because you know, when you turn on the news, they give like a segment for the weather, and they say something about visibility. Visibility is like the moisture in the air, like mist or moisture. So there's no possible way you'll be able to see with your visible eyes Fuji or Japan or anything like that, because there's too much moisture in the air. Either way, no matter how high you were, low you were, or how, you know, on a clear day, you can only see so much due to the optics of your eyes. So
I mean, how come no one can prove the earth is flat though?
I don't. No. Wait.
How come nobody?
I don't.
Wait. Who
I don't
said
believe
that? Because I'll give you
I
some
did.
too, though. Yeah. Well, we can't prove that this motherfucker's spinning and floating through space infinitely.
Yeah, we can actually.
So you show me how water stuck to a ball. You know what I'm saying? This
I
is
mean, if I got,
it's a
I can,
religion.
Wait a minute.
I can sit you down for a semester of science, but
You're a master of science. Then
I said I can sit you down for a semester of it if, like, I mean, because we ain't gonna be able to do it right here.
I mean, we can both agree that science in school is just an indoctrination. You know what I'm saying? School is just indoctrination. They teach you how to be a good worker. So you're not gonna get an education on what's really going on.
Okay, do you use GPS on your phone?
GPS has nothing to do with the shape of the
Do
earth.
you use GPS on your phone?
It has nothing to do with the shape of the
Yes,
earth.
it does. In order for it to be accurate, it accounts for the fact that the earth is round.
How does it account? You tell me what
Look
tools
it
are
up.
used.
You can prove me wrong by looking it up.
You're the one that's telling me.
I'm
that
giving
you're
you
gonna
the
sit me down
search
for a
terms.
science
I'm
lesson.
giving you the search terms so you can find the
I'm
knowledge.
not
There.
about to get on here. I'm talking to you. If I want to get on Google and do that, I'll do that in my free time. If you want to be the educator, then educate me. What tools are used? Are you claiming that there's satellites up in the air that's giving GPS? Why don't you just come out and say that?
Okay, so listen, here's the thing. If you have an object that is high enough in the sky, I just looked it up. You can see an object from further away, right? So if you have something that is like let me look at the height of this. Everest, right? So if you have something that is like Mount Everest, where it shoots up 29,000 feet into the air, you can literally see that with your eye because it is so tall and it is so wide. You would be able to see it. Mount Fuji is 20,000 feet into the air. So because I'm in California and California is not, it's only 5,000 miles away from Japan, but Fuji shoots 20,000 feet into the air and it's wide. You would be able to see it on a clear day.
On a clear day, you should be able to see the Rockies from St. Louis.
Exactly. So if you think about this, it's the
You
curvature.
can see a lot of things on a clear day. You can see the Chicago skyline.
Listen.
Exactly. If you're in the Sears Tower, you should see New York City from the Sears Tower.
And yeah, you can see the Chicago skyline from Michigan, and you shouldn't be on your model, the model that you believe
but
in,
the
like a
reason
religion.
you can't see it is because of the curvature of the earth.
So come on, man. We
I'm
both grew up on Bill
bro,
Nye and talking
if you
about
watch
how
a
boats
car,
disappeared.
you could watch a huge ass boat sail out to sea. No matter how
Exactly,
big, wait a minute.
And that's before,
no matter how big that boat is, eventually you will lose sight of that boat, even if you're looking at it with binoculars, because the curvature of the earth will make it will take it out of your view. So
that's
I mean, I've argued. No, that's not ridiculous.
I agree
it's not
with you
ridiculous.
on like 90% of the stuff that you talking
No,
about.
it's okay.
When I heard that yesterday, I'm
but
like,
you're
damn,
talking
you a
about
fighter.
but you're talking about like show water sticking to a ball and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's stupid, man.
No, it's not stupid. You have to understand gravity. Gravity exists. Gravity holds things down. And the earth spins fast. So there's a lot of third grade science stuff that you're omitting from your analysis. But there are many people who are flat earthers who have more money than you, and they still haven't been able to prove the earth is flat. So
man,
they won't, because that's how it makes them money.
If we talking about money, then it's been years and decades of NASA getting billions of dollars. So what is one man's life savings gonna do to prove
but
what's
do you
already
realize
been indoctrinated in school?
Do you realize that there are millions of pilots, sailors who have sailed around the world, and none of them have said the earth is flat. There are people.
That's a lie.
No, who? Back in the 1400s?
That's a lie. No, there's plenty of videos of pilots that say when they
there's
go
always
up
a video,
and
but there's never a person who's doing it.
What do you mean? A video is of a person that's making a statement.
Name me a pilot or a sailor who has made a video.
I can send you the link of multiple pilots.
If you believe this, you should have his name at the top of your head.
Man, there's so much information. I'm not going to.
No, I get there's a lot of information, but the reality is, no, this would have to be a conspiracy like the world has never seen. Because there would at
that's
least
why
be
it's the biggest one. That's why they can fool niggas with everything else.
This is the thing. This is the thing. They say don't believe these people, but they'll say believe these random people on YouTube. That's what they be doing.
Dude, there's so many
debates. This dude just coming in,
there's so many debates.
I can't deal with that.
Because bro, I argue with these flat Earth niggas all day.
Wait, hold on. Listen.
Nigga, you believe in the ball that's going through space infinitely in one direction just forever.
Listen, but you
right, but
wait.
Are you a religious
hold on though, hold
person?
on. Believing flat Earth, believing flat Earth
How you believe?
is.
Are you religious? Are you religious? You
Wait.
believe in God?
I don't think that
How
matters.
create the earth?
Hey, both you
Even
guys.
God said it was
It
One
doesn't
round.
mic,
matter.
guys. One mic, guys.
No,
One mic.
no, he didn't.
One mic.
Yeah, it
Listen.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Listen.
matter. Because
Hey,
if you're
thank
God,
you, the Most
yeah.
High. Hold on. He believes that there's a ball infinitely spinning in space. You believe that there's a disc or a square object
I didn't say that. I didn't say
that's
that.
floating. So what do we
I
live
didn't say
on?
that.
So what do we live on?
I don't have $2 billion a year to tell you what we live on. I can tell you that this
So you,
motherfucker ain't spinning though with water stuck to it. I can tell you that's a fact though. Because
okay.
if we did,
Wait.
you'll have
So
satellites being able to
let me
show
ask you a
us live
question.
events.
Let me ask
Why
you a
ain't they
question.
showing us live
I
events
have a
on
very
Earth?
simple
Why can't
question
we
for
see
you.
a live? Why can't we see a live event, a
You
football
can
game?
keep
Why
asking
can't we
that
watch a football?
question. I'm never going to answer
Yeah.
it. I'm going to tell
I know
you.
you're not.
No, I'm going to give you a basic understanding if you choose to. Have you ever been on an airplane before?
Of course.
Okay. An airplane travels hundreds of miles per hour, 700, 800 miles an hour. Why is it that everybody's not stuck to the back of the plane or the sides since that plane is traveling at damn near 1,000 miles per hour? How's it that someone could get up with a cup of water and walk through that plane without spilling it if the plane
You
is moving so
contradicting
fast?
yourself. You might want to let the
I'm asking you.
glazing dude
I'm
answer
asking you
this
a
one.
very simple
I'll
question.
answer it, but yeah, I'm answering it, but you
I'm asking you a very
contradicting
simple
yourself.
question.
You know what they claim is that the clouds
But this
in the
is the thing for
atmosphere.
flat Earth.
No. Wait,
Come on, man. See
guys,
what I'm saying? See
No,
this dude?
listen. I
You
want you
asked
to
me,
answer the
right? Why this
question.
dude jumping
I don't
in?
want to know. Listen, don't jump in. I don't want to know what they claim. I want to know how traveling 800 miles per hour, someone.
But no, you can't ask me a question and tell me to explain it to you based on your belief. I don't believe this motherfucker spinning
This is
1,000
not a
miles per hour.
belief.
That
I'm
is a
asking about
belief.
an
You just told me.
airplane. I'm
You
asking
said
about
1,000 miles per hour.
So
You
an
said we
airplane.
going 1,000.
So an
They're
airplane.
not going 1,000 miles an hour.
You're
No, the
moving the
Earth is spinning
goalpost.
at 1,000.
I'm
The
asking
Earth is
you a
spinning. I
very.
don't believe the
I'm
Earth is spinning
asking you a
1,000 miles
very
an hour.
simple question about an airplane. You
Did you
said
hear
you've
what
been
you
in.
asked me? You said it's going 1,000 miles per
You
hour.
clearly
It's not.
haven't heard me.
I did. You
Wait a
said
minute.
why isn't everybody stuck to the back of the plane if we're going 1,000 miles an hour?
So
I
the
don't believe
airplane
the
is
Earth is
not
spinning 1,000
traveling.
miles an hour.
So how fast is the airplane moving?
About 400 to 500 miles per hour. At most.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So even at 400 miles per hour, shouldn't everybody be? Because when you get on a roller coaster, that thing's not even moving 200 miles per hour, and you're literally stuck to your seat. So why is it that in an airplane that's not the case?
Because when you're on a roller coaster, you're not encapsulated like you are in a car.
So this pressure is keeping you.
Yes, you're
stable.
in a pressurized cabin.
That's the same thing that gravity creates with the atmosphere.
You said what?
That is the same thing that gravity does to keep people and water and everything else stuck to the planet while it spins at 1,000 miles per hour.
You just open up another can of worms. If gravity is
No,
so
I'm not.
strong, why is it so selective?
Hey, even if you
why is gravity so selective? Why does gravity pull
Brandon, I'll just say this and I'll leave it alone. For flat earthers, their only proof is just a bunch of questions. All they do is ask questions. That's their only evidence is just questions.
Come in here and you just make sidebars. You don't really address me directly.
Bro, I told you. I already told you. I already gave you a proof of round Earth, bro. Is a GPS. I already gave you one, and that's an easy one. That's all I need.
I asked you what is the tool used for GPS, and you couldn't even answer that. You're scared.
I got an answer for that.
Yeah, it's triangulation. Like I know what it is.
Have you guys ever heard of atmospheric pressure? Have you ever heard of that?
Yep.
Have you heard of that? Thank you. Thank the Most High.
I don't believe we're in an atmosphere. But
no, it's not about belief. All right, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, they reject everything about everything.
Everything is about belief. Listen,
you forcing your beliefs on me.
I'm not. I'm asking you a simple question.
The plane is going 1,000 miles per hour.
I'm asking you a simple question. I'm asking you a simple question. If you're in a plane, you believe that pressure keeps you stable inside the plane.
The same way it does in a car.
The same way in the atmosphere. There's atmospheric pressure, which keeps you stable on the earth. That's what happens. It's all pressure. And if you look at the pressure that's created within an airplane capsule, it will be very similar, but on a larger scale when it comes to the atmosphere and the planet. That's where we get our ability to do things like that. We look at what the nature does and we find ways to mimic nature. That's literally what science is. That's literally what technology is. We mimic nature. Things that naturally occur, we find ways to mimic that. So I don't know.
Really said
but
that's no definite proof of a spinning ball going through
listen,
space
the proof
with water stuck to it.
and there's no definite so you're basically like this. I don't know anything, but I know that what you believe is not true. Okay.
It's exactly what it is.
That's what it
There's
sounds
no
like.
argument.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that I know what we live on because that's to be a lie.
Okay,
But
that's fine. Well,
just
then,
going off of what somebody else told
if you
you,
But
don't
you
know,
believe
that's
it's
really
flat.
that's a
Why
lie.
can't you believe it's a
No, it's
square?
not, man.
no. Listen,
Calm down,
if
man.
you
Calm
don't
down,
know,
man.
if
You over
you
here,
don't know,
you doing too
listen,
much.
listen.
Yeah,
If you don't
just
know,
you filibustering.
listen.
That's
But
all you
why does it
doing,
have to be
man.
flat if it's
God,
not a sphere?
if you don't know, and we
Because
think,
just everything is, and when you do construction, everything.
listen, there's no point. If you don't know, and we think we know, there's no argument there. I can't argue with someone who doesn't know because it's a pointless argument. So it's no point to keep arguing about it. Like if you don't know, why bring it up? That's stupid.
Back to ice rage.
That's a
Brandon.
horrible argument to say.
All right,
though.
go
It's
ahead,
like
Rob. Hey, Rob's
if you
gonna
don't have
speak,
the
and then I gotta go. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just gonna truly commend you for, entertaining an argument with flat earthers. The amount of shameless ignorance that we can have to literally show our face on stream and claim that the that the earth is flat. Black men never cease to
Well,
amaze me, dog. It's crazy,
a
bro.
lot of people are on the internet, and it's like, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, so we got that in his name. Plus, I believe in flat earth. I believe they don't even realize that they're just basically like prisoners to all these different identity cults, I guess, and these like pseudo-scientific cults. Basically, he's a cultist. If you have a group that expresses an alternative opinion or belief, he's game for it. He'll figure out a way to make himself a part of it. I get it. Nothing's wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but if you don't know, how can you argue for what you don't know? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I just want to do my closing statement.
Go ahead.
Since we've been speaking to a lot of cool Mexicans lately, I kind of see that it's changing. Like people are becoming more empathetic towards illegal immigrants, and I just want to reinstate the fact that I believe all illegal immigrants need to be deported. Whether you're a 90-year-old grandma, a woman with a baby still attached to her titty, everyone should be deported. I don't care how many taxes you've paid and everything. Deport everyone. I'm actually having a challenge with my family in a group chat to see who can call the most ICE tip lines, and then I'm gonna probably give them a few $100s in MAGA paraphernalia. But I just want to make sure all Black Americans know we still can get on the mission. We can be proactive about this. Make sure you call ICE and get these illegals out of here. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you so much, guys. I gotta go. We'll be back on tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming in, tapping in with me. I appreciate everybody. Till the next time, peace.